First thing you want to do is open FL Studio. After you got FL Studio open, you want to go to File, New. You're going to have a few options. For this one, we're going to start New, Empty. Set your BPM, which will be right here, up on the top. We're going to be making hip hop, so we're working with a hip hop beat. You want to get it down to somewhere between 70 to 90 BPM for a hip hop beat. We're going to go with 88. Next thing you want to do is create your drum pattern. We'll start by making a basic drum pattern. We got to add in some instruments. We'll go to the folders on the left, go to packs, find some stock sounds. Go ahead and drag and drop your drum in. We're going to add a kick first. Next thing we'll do is add a snare. And we want to make sure we have a hi-hat. This hi-hat works. You see a clear sample, nice and loud. This is a different style of a hi-hat. So you got a few options. We went with this hi-hat. Next, after we drag and drop each sound into different slots in the channel rack, we're going to create a kick pattern. So you basically just click on these steps right here. You can press the speaker icon to play and pause the pattern. Now we should hear the kicks on the notes that we put. Next, we're going to put a snare. And we're going to add some hi-hats. We're going to click and hold to add a hi-hat in every step. That's a shortcut. Or you can right-click delete and do every other hi-hat step. We're going to leave it with that pattern for now. You can change your instrument settings and the sound of the instrument by coming and clicking on the instrument name, and then each tab has different options and settings you can play with. For example, here you can lower the frequency or filter the frequency of your snare, so you can hear the difference. Here's the snare with the low frequency filter. It's at the 50%. You can hear the difference. It's basically cutting out all the highs. You can right click on these green dots here and these radio buttons, put it on solo or take it off solo from there. That's another way. There are a few ways to do that. If you want to play your pattern, your drum pattern after you put it in, you just hit space bar to stop, space bar and then it'll basically bring it back to the beginning of the pattern when you hit it again. Next, what we want to do is add an instrument. For this, we could pull an instrument from the pack. Here it says instruments, and we're in the legacy pack for instruments. See if we find anything we like. And as you open these folders, you'll have different options. So we went into guitar. We'll have bass guitar and regular acoustic guitar. And you'll have a lot of samples to choose from. Or this is more just acoustic or electric guitar folder. You'll see the first folder has sounds to choose from. And then you'll see some of these drag and drop plug-in settings to make your plug-in sound like a guitar. You can make your plug-in sound like a guitar if you drop those settings in. First, we'll try one of the sounds for the guitar, for the acoustic guitar, and you can open your piano roll and see how the notes sound with this instrument. So for this, we're going to manually plug in some notes, and we could just start with some basic steps here. And the more notes you add, the better your beat will sound. Here we're plugging in some more notes, and we stuck with the original notes we picked. We just added them in different places. You want to have a sound that's somewhat repetitive so that it gives it a rhythm. We're going to move these around until we get a sound that we like. And with your instrument, you want to have a mid sound, which is going to be in your C4 to C6 range. Completely up to you how low you want to go, and then you want to have a bass note somewhere in your melody. And with these sounds, you can adjust the length of each note by coming into the envelope tab and adjusting these knobs here: delay, attack, hold, decay, sustain, release. With attack, you will be adjusting how long it takes for the sound to be heard. Here's an example. We can hear the sound is being heard right away, as opposed to changing the attack where it's going to be a delay before the sound is played or is heard. Here you see the attack is letting the sound be heard sooner than later when it plays. Here we're going to keep. We're going to find a bass note that works. And we want to fill in as many steps as we need to get the right melody. We can we can shorten the note or lengthen it depending on what we want. For this, I'm going to shorten the last note. And we're going to add a high note. All right, we have a melody we like. We're going to move on. Of course, if you want to create a chord progression, this is where you can do it as well. You can adjust the volume or the velocity of each note so that the notes aren't or play at different levels, different speeds, different velocities, and give it a different sound. Open up your playlist window. So you can go to view and hit F5 for a shortcut, or just come to view and hit playlist. So we have our playlist already open, and we're going to highlight our pattern and click into the playlist so it lets us arrange the song and the beat. Here we have the first pattern we made, set to repeat for 4 bars. We're going to play it now. And what we can do now is create a different pattern by either clicking on pattern and insert one, which will give us a new blank pattern. Oh, that's the and we'll have a blank pattern to add to the playlist. We can open up the pattern and create a new pattern to add into the beat. Another shortcut on your channel rack is right-clicking each instrument and choosing to fill each 2 steps, 4 or 8, or an advanced fill basically a shortcut to fill in the notes for your instrument. And on this pattern, we're gonna put all the hi-hats in, and we're also going to reopen the first pattern we worked on, and copy the melody from the guitar that we have. Alright, go to our channel rack, just right click and copy and then right click and paste into this pattern here, and we should have a whole nother pattern. We have a lot of keyboard shortcuts to move around your patterns. You want to go to select on your window menu here, or you can press Shift and E and bring up your highlighter, which then allows you to copy and paste. You can either Control or Alt Control copy. I don't know, we gotta cut that part of the fucking thing now. Damn it. Doing so fucking good. After you copy and paste your pattern, you can hear your beat all together, however you want to arrange it. We're going to give this beat an intro by duplicating the first pattern and highlighting and moving the patterns already on the playlist, and highlighting the new pattern, clicking and putting it into the playlist. Then we're going to edit the melody from the channel rack to give it more of an intro feel with no drums or percussion, and make sure we repeat it enough times for it to be the intro. This beat is at an 88 tempo, so we're going to make this a little bit shorter for preview's sake. And now we have a different arrangement for the song. Next thing you want to do is open up your mixer. Shortcut is normally F9, but we're on Mac here. We don't have a shortcut for it. That's being shown. And this is where you'll be able to see the volume for all your instruments. Once you've added your instruments, you'll want to either right click and once you've added all your instruments, you'll want to open each one up and click on the plugin options and select route to free mixer track, or Command L on a Mac for a shortcut, which will assign it to the first available track. Here we have our kick. intro by putting up the point at the front to 100, and here we'll have a tension point that we can adjust so that we can transition into no effect or plug-in over the beat. And we're going to play it now and see how it sounds. And once you have your beat arranged and mixed, you can bounce your song by clicking on File, Export. You'll have different options. For this, we will want to first save the session, name it, the location, and whether or not you want to create a new project folder or copy used samples to a project folder as well. For this one, we're just going to create a new project folder, hit save. And after we've saved it, we'll go down here and click on export MP3. And even on demo mode, like I have, you'll be able to export your file out to your folders, the project folder that it's set to, or anywhere else you like, as usual. And then here you have the option to either make a WAV file of your beat or an MP3, and a few other options that I don't normally use. And here we'll hit start to export the beat, and here we have the beat saved to the computer. We just hit spacebar to preview it from the Finder window.